That is Nightly News for this Tuesday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
The governor of Guam delivers her 6th annual State of the Island address, calling the island strong with a bright future. Plus, the clock is ticking for the Power Authority to find a solution that would help them keep the lights on. A look at today's emergency session. And Biba Mes Chamorro, KUAM rolls out another special feature called Rooted, a look at the culture of the Chamorro people.
Hafidades and buenas noches. Bienvenido para KUAM News Primetime. Guahusi Nick Delgado.
Sa Guahusi Destiny Cruz, si Zosma Asi Puri Manyanao Mizu Guini na programa.
Our island is strong and our future is bright. Governor Lulian Guerrero not holding back in her annual State of the Island address.
The Magahaga taking jabs at some in the session hall during her speech. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
EPAL is not the right location.
Her stance on the site for a new hospital remains.
Disagreement is not about me or that it has to be my way or no way.
Governor Lulian Guerrero led by swinging away at the naysayers.
And predictably, the old voices of doubt and skepticism rose to meet us.
Delivering her 6th State of the Island address from the Guam legislature Tuesday night, touting her administration's track record.
We know things are nowhere near perfect. We still face challenges.
That includes paying war survivors and repeated general fund surpluses to a drop in unemployment and a new financial management system, among others.
I am proud to report that the state of our island is strong and our future is bright.
That bright message taking a turn as the Magahaga defended her fiscal team before calling out others in government.
You've been wrongly accused of not being transparent, despite the growing number of mandated financial reports sent to this body monthly. But you kept the faith, you did your work, and we are better for it.
Here she is speaking to those who oppose a self-insured Gov Guam.
You might have thought the sky was falling, or even imagined the end of days. But here we are.
Identifying multiple ways to help the island's youth excel is among her list of priorities.
And recently, despite so many challenges, a school system handcuffed by broken procurement laws and bureaucracy won full WASC accreditation for 6 years.
She even touched on safer schools and safer streets, the need for more officers, better pay for public safety, a proposal for trainees, shelter for the homeless, and an automated system to help Guam Customs in the fight against drug smuggling. The governor concluded by offering her hand to senators to work with her.
Without question, there is too much violence in our streets and too little hope for those strapped in generational poverty. But I cannot do this work alone, and your ideas must be greater than simply opposing mine.
Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
And after the governor called on senators to work on solutions with her administration, senators shared their thoughts on her annual address.
I've been working with both governors that I've served as a senator with, and I don't see a problem with collaboration. I really do think there's just a difference of facts, whether they're going to be open and transparent with the facts. That, to me, is crucial.
She wanted to focus more on wanting to build for the future. Our people need health care now, and I was a little disappointed that she didn't speak of that.
My read of that speech was the governor failed on Eagles Field, she failed on Edagaga, and I think why she failed on those two proposals was because she didn't humble herself and bring herself to the body and answer the questions of the colleagues.
There's a lot of folks that are more comfortable if it was Manila. And then in the other areas they brought up, building more precincts, there's a bunch of areas she brought up, and I'm in agreement with, I would say, maybe 90% of it.
I feel what the governor was saying in terms of things are getting better, maybe slowly, but surely they are trending in that direction. And I hope that as we continue to do this rebuild post-Mawar, that if we invest our energies in the right way, we can continue this upward trend.
More on what senators had to say about the State of the Island address on KUAM's Facebook and YouTube pages. Guam Attorney General Doug Moylan keeping a straight face while the governor called him out during her address. She calls his abrupt decision to temporarily withdraw legal representation for 21 government of Guam agencies under active investigation a paralyzing move for the people.
Millions in federal grants potentially lost or at risk simply because Guam's chief legal officer, our Attorney General, has chosen to abandon his Organic Act responsibility. We must all work together to ensure that one public official's decision not to do his job does not keep the rest of us from doing ours. People will suffer from your actions, Mr. Attorney General.
The move made after defense attorneys for the Public Health and Transit Authority government corruption cases brought up concerns of a potential conflict of interest over the AG's dual roles, advising GovGuam and prosecuting them. The growing controversy also surfaced during the legislature's emergency session today. Two bills have just been introduced offering potential remedies. One by Senator Amanda Shelton would allow independent private attorneys to review and sign off on government contracts. Another measure by Senator Will Parkinson would establish a new public prosecutor position, completely separate from the AG's office. Meanwhile, Attorney General Moylan was set to appear personally before lawmakers to make his case. After a lengthy recess to determine if it was allowed under the emergency session
Madam
agenda,
Speaker,
they finally agreed.
And late
this afternoon,
for
senators
this
dissolved
opportunity
into the
to
committee of the
explain
whole
a
to hear
situation
Moylan's testimony.
that
The Guam Supreme Court has also weighed in, writing to Speaker Terlahi reminding her of its authority to, quote, govern attorney and judicial ethics and the practice of law in Guam, including the conduct and discipline of persons admitted to practice law. We'll have more on the story on tomorrow's newscast. Earlier in the morning, lawmakers were focused on the main purpose for the emergency session, a bill to lift certain procurement regulations on a Guam Power Authority contract for temporary power generation.
GPA contends it's the only real solution to avoid summer load shedding, and they're running short on time. Nestor Lecanto reports.
GPA's concern has been that as the summer heats up and demand rises, without temporary generators, they won't have enough capacity to avoid load shedding. And not only do they need to fast-track the installation, they want to avoid any potential protests that could stall it. Senator Will Parkinson's bill allows for a one-time waiver of certain procurement regulations. And aside from the concerns about the AG's oversight removal, lawmakers, including Speaker Therese Terlahi and Chris Duenas, were also leery about lifting the established contractual safeguards.
There was also an allegation that GPA should have known some of the things that they are claiming are emergency now. That again will be a matter for the OPA to decide, but we are being asked today as a legislature to kind of rule in favor of GPA and say no matter what, go forward because of the stakes that we have. And this has been described to us by GPA as pretty much the only remedy to the lack of power capacity at this point.
I also like the fact that what the retiring speaker said, and I concur. The OPA says, you're going to do something like this, do it in the full light of day. Put your arguments on the floor, explain to the people of Guam why you're doing something that hopefully never becomes the precedence, because it's not the way we should be operating, but that we do rise to the occasion as needed.
Even sponsor Senator Parkinson had reservations, saying senators should never have been put in this position. But the bottom line?
We have to answer the question, has GPA exhausted all of their remedies before we grant them this very, very exceptional waiver?
Further action on the Parkinson bill was set aside ahead of the discussion regarding the Attorney General's role. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Time for a quick break, but keep it here.
You're watching KUAM, your leader in local news.
Hop a day, we're Pop Rocks and Soda. Join us at the Hagåtña City Run and Block Party, Saturday, March 9. All proceeds benefit the Guam Cancer Care and the American Cancer Society Guam. Alongside the run, there will be food, a kids zone, live entertainment by us, a 3-on-3 tournament, and local vendors. See you there.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Looks like it's prime time, huh?
Dr. Garcia?
Crest Reality Checkup. That grimy film on your teeth is actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities in months. And your toothpaste just isn't cutting it.
Most toothpaste quit working in minutes, but the antibacterial fluoride in Crest Pro Health protects for up to 12 hours.
So I can stop cavities before they start.
Can I get a latte?
The #1 toothpaste brand in America, Crest.
Unlock your brightest smile with Crest. Available now at Payless.
Welcome back to Prime Time. A Superior Court judge will now decide if murder defendant Donovan Ornelas is fit to stand trial. Ornelas appeared before Judge Alberto Tolentino today. He stands accused in the 2021 brutal beheading of Andrew Castro. Defense attorney William Pohl says his client's psychological evaluation is completed. The judge and prosecution will now review the evaluation results before determining if the case will go to trial. Whatever the decision, Ornelas' defense team is ready.
We've been preparing for a year and a half or more, so something like that. So I mean, in terms of looking through everything, I think we're quite well prepared.
As KUAM reported, Ornelas was the last person seen with Castro alive. Ornelas allegedly admitted to police that he used meth that day, adding he was compelled to kill Castro for putting his family in danger. He is scheduled to appear back in court on April 3rd.
A Monday morning traffic stop leads to police finding guns and drugs. 35-year-old Daniel Sanchez charged with possession of with intent to deliver a Schedule II controlled substance, drug possession, and illegal weapons possession without a firearms ID. Court documents noting Sanchez was on probation for a 2020 drug case. Officers pulling him over for having expired tags. It was during a search that authorities found more than 15 grams of the drug ice, a .38 caliber revolver, and a .45 caliber pistol. Authorities noting the pistol was reported stolen in 2018. Sanchez allegedly admitting he got the gun as payment for selling meth.
A former mixed martial arts fighter accused in attacking an off-duty law enforcement officer will have his day in court next week. Defendant Ricky Camp appeared before Judge Alberto Tolentino in Superior Court today. Defense attorney Tyler Scott says his client is being accused in 2 separate incidents.
The case involves actually two separate incidents that occurred approximately 6 months apart. The initial case is a simple assault case, which we have moved to sever from the more serious charges which he is facing with his co-defendant, Mr. Mendiola. That includes an aggravated assault charge.
Attorney Scott adding they will be ready for trial once the court grants the request. Trial is set for March 11th. Judge Tolentino also rejected any plea offers, stating Camp has repeatedly disobeyed the court's orders while on pre-trial release. It was also said in court co-defendant Joseph Mendiola could be released from prison.
The CNMI Department of Corrections escorted Charles Lee Dewey III to Saipan's International Airport, where Indiana law enforcement took him into custody for extradition to Indiana last Thursday. Dewey will now face the charges against him in court. Dewey moved to Saipan in 2022 under the alias Carter Widmore. He was arrested on Saipan by CNMI authorities in January. He fled Indiana with at least 6 active warrants dating back to 2020 for cases involving rape, sexual misconduct,
we all come together
and drugs.
And we work collectively to apprehend an individual or individuals who think they can come to Saipan as a safe haven. You know, as a community, I do know that we must remain vigilant and aware of individuals who seek refuge in our islands to evade accountability for crimes committed elsewhere. While our islands are a place of warmth and hospitality, it is not a safe haven for those seeking to escape justice.
And tourists thank the U.S. Marshal Service, Homeland Security Investigations, the Department of Public Safety, and the Attorney General's Office for their partnership in the case.
The Marianas is home to several endangered bird species, and scientists on the ground working hard to protect them.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotny reports on the effort to save the Saipan reed warbler.
My Division of Fish and Wildlife is working to protect birds that can only be found in the Marianas.
We have been trying to create redundant or kind of insurance populations for our native bird species.
The preparation is critical, especially with the risk of brown tree snakes invading the NMI. On Wednesday morning, we met with the biologists at the front line in northern Saipan.
The native birds that we're here today for is the nightingale reed warbler. Nightingale reed warbler is locally known as Gaga karisu, which translates to animal of the reeds.
The Saipan reed warbler is critically endangered after the introduction of brown tree snakes on Guam, volcanic eruptions in the northern islands, and habitat loss. They used to thrive on Guam, Pagan, and Goat Island, but now only exist on Saipan, where 75% of the population is, and Alamagan.
All of the predators that they've had to encounter are introduced predators, and they're very vulnerable to drastic population changes.
The DFW is partnering with the Pacific Bird Conservation to study the bird's diet and behavior for eventual translocation.
We are just wanting to get more information on the species and practice our techniques.
We put up really fine nets that are difficult to see, and as the birds fly through the area, we'll get them in a mist net. We're able to get them out. We have veterinarians out here with us that are able to look over the birds. We're able to collect biosamples.
The project also prepares the next generation of scientists. Northern Marianas College student Alexi Rebuenog interns with the PBC.
I'm here helping out, and it's been amazing. I've had hands-on experience mist netting the reed warblers and other native species.
It's all part of an effort to keep the island's wild birds thriving in the wild. Tomas Manglotny, KUAM News, Saipan.
Thanks, Tomas. Well, it's a pre-Charter Day tradition for the University of Guam, leaving many blue in its almost 21 years of absence. UOG student government making a call back to Blue Night during tomorrow's Charter Day festivities. Originally banned on campus for its rather risque activities, UOG President Dr. Anita Borja Enriquez tells KUAM this iteration is a family-friendly event.
The SGA partnering with the Indigo Music Festival to bring acts like the John Dank Show out for the evening of music, food, and togetherness. It all takes place in UOG's center court.
Instead of making it a night of preparation, it actually will take place later on in the evening, the day of Charter Day. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have a wonderful, enjoyable evening of fellowship, listening to amazing music, and having fun.
Party all night.
Yeah. Well, UOG's Charter Day celebration, Tula Smutna, will kick off tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. And for the full list, head to KUAM.com.
Well, that's Biba Mesh tomorrow.
Biba! Tonight, KUAM kicks off another weekly special just in time to celebrate our culture. Here's Rooted with Sinyot Donald Mendiola.
Rooted is brought to you by Templa, now open to serve up all your local favorites.
I am Donald Benevenci Mendiola, a native of Saipan. I'm a healer, Chamorro healer, spiritual and natural herb healing. There are times when I would use herbs to prepare concoctions. I make a brews or I just mash them, I squeeze the juice to give to the patient. But there are times also when I don't need to use the herbs, like when we have to soften the people who get sick from the spirits, or just maybe counseling, just talking to them and just try to make them hear what their problem is all about. We still believe in the Tausomona. And back then, in thousands of years ago in the past, it's been practiced. Everybody knew that there was a place after we died from this place, the afterlife. This is my 52nd year as a healer. Way back when I was very little, let's say maybe when I was about 7.5, 8 years old, that's when I had the interest. I used to grab leaves and grass, herbs and stuff, and I pound them, make believe I'm making medicine. Until I eventually approached my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, my dad's mom, and asked her and said, Nana, can you please help me, or can you please teach me everything you know about healing, about making medicine and helping? Eventually, I got to know all her recipes. She showed me all the plants, so I got to know them, memorize them. I knew what they were used for and how they were added to other ingredients to make medicines for like cold sores, for headaches, body aches, urinary, bladder infection, the kidneys, and so forth. I even traveled to the U.S. mainland to help people there, especially with spiritual possessions and negative energy stuff. I go to Guam, Tinian. I've done online messenger call Taxi, and I've tried it and it's worked. I would tell them what they need and then just put it on their phone. And then I say, okay, you go get this and this and that and boil it together. Make sure you drink it for a week or like for 3 days, and you let me know how you feel. And then, lo and behold, they get helped by it. Not very many healers who are practicing, but there are a lot of people who still are knowledgeable in it, but refuse to practice it. Not everybody's meant to be a healer. There are always going to be people who are going to be interested, and I do encourage those who have the interest to please go out. Go find someone, an elder, a friend, whomever that you know that is going to be willing to teach you so you can carry on the tradition.
Rooted is brought to you by Templa, now open to serve up all your local favorites.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a view captured from the Channel 10 area on Nimitz Hills.
Troy Polamalu Safety, a.k.a. the Quiet Storm. Troy's seen more out of the corners of his cold steel eyes than most mortal men have seen straight on. The last thing an offense would witness? A fury of flowing mane, incoming at high speed.
Hey!
Cat-like quickness and supernatural instincts like Troy's only come once in a lifetime. And oh, how grateful we are that they came in ours. No one made the beloved burg of Pittsburgh feel quite as safe as this safety. The Hyundai Tucson with advanced safety and tech, because even safeties could use a little more safety themselves.
Hey, how's it going, bro?
All right. Go!
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Try new McDonald's sauce now.
Now?
Huh? The race to McDonald's is on!
I will win!
Welcome! I guess we both win. Try new savory chili McDonald's sauce, only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, go!
On the 14th, The Voyage Home is an exhibition you need to check out because it is happening at Doucet Place and Lost with Like. It's being presented by them 4 to 8 at Doucet Place across from the Aquarium of Guam. It's a collection expression of life in the ocean. Make sure to check this out. This amazing photographer is going to have their very best. Absolutely incredible work. Agana Heights, my second home. That's where my family's from. On my dad's side, I grew up there. Fort Apugan is awesome. And you know what's also awesome? The Coconut Festival, now in year number 16. It is back, baby. April 19th to 24th over at Fort Apugan. Yes, one of the most beautiful views on all of Guam. Food, fun, and entertainment. Celebrate the coconut with this wonderful central village. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. We can't wait to see you there. And on the 23rd, up in Saipan, they are having the 4th annual NMI Women's Run, so make sure to register and participate. It's a 5K and 10K course. That is what we do at News Bites, let you know what's going on. You just got to show up. Have fun. Chart.
Well, over the weekend, the University of Guam Caval Fieldhouse was filled with royal pride as Notre Dame High School held their annual Songfest and Fun Night. I know you were there as well, Des.
Yeah.
This year's event was presented by the students and parents of the class of 2026. Keeping to the theme of royal roots, each class took the stage and performed an original song along with choreography. Each performance was scored based on lyrics, entrance and exit, choreography, and originality. Freshmen won for best entrance and exit. Seniors took honors for best choreography.
The most original award went to the class of 2025. Getting the win for lyrics and music accompaniment were the sophomores, and the class of 2026 would also walk away with the overall win. Congratulations to the class of 2026 and to all the students for a job well done.
Let's birthday wish this time.
Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutout submitted on KUAM.com.
Wednesday birthday love going out to some very special Guamanians. So here we go. Happy birthday to Xander James Duenas Lazama, sending lots of love and birthday wishes to our son, and we miss you tremendously. We love you, Bulalalala, says the Fam Bam Clan. And best regards to you, Xander James. Mike Jr. Borja Guzman celebrating birthday number 15 this year. So he's known as MJ to people who are very close to him. And MJ, your shout out says, may God continue to guide you on this journey. Enjoy your day. We love and miss you so much from your family. AJ Jammer Macshot Sablan. AJ, we wish you a safe and blessed birthday. Shout out coming from the Macshot Mangapa. All right. And a single belated birthday wish going out to Caressa and Anthony. She's March 3rd and he's March 6th. This year they're both 36. That's awesome. 3rd and 6th and 36. That's crazy how that worked out. Happy birthday, Caressa and Anthony. Love your familia, and you get the big heart emoji, the one with like the shiny reflection thing, so you know that's extra special. And we wish all of you the best birthday ever.
Estigis and Mizu Primetime Show, si Zeus Ma si Put Ninenega, Guahusi Nagdogado.
Sa Guahusi Destiny Cruz, Nafan Safu Hamzu Zagosa Ipweni.
Ali, Mogisin, Hafade Zantiro, Rananim, Kasalele, Lengwo, and Yakwe. Welcome back to another edition of the One Micronesia Show. Here we go. I got a jam-packed show for you guys, so let's kick it off with this one. Just recently, they were on Guam to compete for their first ever jiu-jitsu competition. I'm talking about FSM BJJ. Check it out. Recently, the FSM Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation competed in their first outing at the 2024 Copa de Marianas that was held at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Coming along for the incredible experience was a team of 10 and 2 coaches. President of FSM BJJ, Christopher Alfonso, who is also a brown belt, explains how his journey in Jiu-Jitsu began.
They didn't really do
that many sports. I did a few. Like when I was in high school in Guam, I did paddling for like two or 3 years. But it wasn't until like my sophomore year of college that I actually started training. And, you know, prior to training, while out there in Philadelphia, I attended school in Philly, and I wasn't the best student. I actually like did everything except go to classes. It was my first time in the mainland. I just wanted to see and do everything aside from going to classes, basically. So I actually got dismissed from my university twice because of it.
Alfonso said he sought guidance from a cousin who was in New York at the time, and he suggested that he get involved in jiu-jitsu.
I started off training in 2016 as a New Year's resolution. And it just made me want to improve both on the mats and off the mats. So the things you learn, like discipline, hard work, and perseverance, and all the other values that come with training, like it carried over to my studies. And because of that, I was able to get reinstated into my university, and I was able to graduate. And I was also on the dean's list at one point.
He said jiu-jitsu did a lot of good things for him when he was in a really bad place. But when he graduated from college in 2019 and moved back to Pohnpei to work, he was bummed that there was no jiu-jitsu training facility in the country.
It was difficult getting a routine going because myself, I do travel quite a bit for work. I'd always pack a gi or rash guard wherever I would be sent off to for work, whether that's the Philippines, Japan, there in Guam, and just drop in wherever I can for training just to keep up with the practice. And then when I would come back on island, I'd hit up my cousin and say, hey, like I'm on island now, let's get some training in. But then he would be the one that's off island for work. So it was difficult to get a steady schedule going until the lockdown happened.
If you can recall, FSM had the longest lockdown during the pandemic, and in that time, they were unable to travel. Alfonso and his cousin helped launch a tiny club where they offered jiu-jitsu training.
Basically, the only two Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioners in the country, we knew that we needed to develop our own training partners aside from each other. And I knew all the good that it did for me, all the positive impact it had for me, and I'm just hoping that it does the same for our students here as well.
Fast forward, what started as a tiny club has grown to a dozen or more of dedicated and passionate jiu-jitsu practitioners.
We started off with just 2 students, a younger cousin of ours and his friend. And from those 2, they through just by word of mouth alone, they asked more friends to come in. So we ended up with like 12 of them total.
Wow.
And just from there, like it was something they've never done before. It was something new, and they just all stuck with it just because of how much fun they were having. And eventually, like we would open up to more and more beginners batches.
A lot of it being funded by donations and generosity of businesses and individuals, but it is through this generosity that Alfonso says they were able to expand to a 30-foot by 30-foot mat.
When we have like everyone training at the same time, we can have up to 30 people on the mat at the same time. Wow. So it just gradually and organically grew over time. And it's always been like a cool thing to just play dream a little bit, like kind of daydream that like, oh, it'd be cool if we actually got a team out there to Guam to compete, because that's the nearest thing to us in regards to competitions and tournaments.
And although the students may have had some nerves stepping onto the competition mats at Copa de Marianas, they shook it off and gave it their all.
So total medals we got 13 medals total. We got 3 gold medals, 6 silvers, and 4 bronze medals. It was nice being able to like interact with the different coaches and the other competitors at the tournament. Like I remember that morning that we were chatting with another team's a parent from another team. His child was competing in the tournament that day, and he saw our shirts and he was like, oh wow, like are you guys a new team? And we're like, oh yeah, we're from the FSM. He's like, oh wow, like it's your first time coming out here for the Copa de Marianas. I was like, oh yeah, it's our first time ever. Depending on who we talk to, some of them would see us and be like, oh, new team, like these guys are kind of like the underdogs in a way. But afterwards, at the end of the tournament, once we started racking up the medals that we collected, people were coming up to us afterwards and being like, wow, your team did really good for its first team outing.
Now, with their first team outing under their belt, the students go back to training and prepare for that next competition as FSM Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Biba! Amazing job, guys. Keep it up.
One, two, three.
What an amazing story, and on top of that, an amazing performance at Copa de Marianas. Good job, FSM BJJ, and I can't wait to meet you guys when you guys come back to Guam for your next competition. Guys, we're going to take a break and we're back with more of the One Micronesia Show.
For the first time in 30 years, Coors Light has an ad in the big game.
Actually, this is a Miller Lite commercial.
Mountain Cold Refreshment. It's Miller time.
Great taste. Less filling.
Cold as the Rockies.
Coors commercial. Miller commercial.
Actually, it's a Blue Moon commercial.
Oh, yeah. Hot honey pizza and wings from
Pizza Wahat. Pizza Wahat.
Pizza Wahat. Hot honey pizza and wings. It's the first new flavor to make you say, pizza what?
One Micronesia Show, and we're back. The spirit of the people of Micronesia shined bright in the halls of Congress at the beginning of this year. Guam leaders joined other island delegates in Washington, D.C. to talk about the Guam Host Compensation Act. The message? Guam needs support to continue their help to COFA migrants who call Guam their home.
I begin my testimony with painting a picture of a COFA migrant's journey into my beautiful island home. A couple with 7 children living in Chuuk makes the difficult decision to send the husband to Guam in search of better opportunities. Chuukese is his first language, and he is not proficient in English. Upon arrival in Guam, all travelers must go through customs and immigration process. He needs help understanding the forms presented to him for completion and answers them as best as he can. Upon leaving the baggage claim terminal, family or friends residing in Guam meet him, and he is excited at the prospect of one day reuniting with his wife and children in Guam. He is not accustomed to searching online for jobs, so he begins his job search by speaking with those in his social circle. After months on Guam, living with 15 relatives in a substandard wood and tin 2-bedroom home, and remaining unemployed, he finally lands a job as a yard maintenance worker and earns less than $500 a month. He slowly discovers that reunification with his family will be more complicated than imagined, and he longs for his wife and children. Out of frustration, he turns to alcohol to numb the loneliness and pain of being unable to provide the life he and his wife dreamed of for their family. He continues to utilize alcohol as a crutch, and in an inebriated state, commits an unintentional crime of vehicular homicide. He then becomes a consumer within Guam's justice system.
I want to emphasize support for compacts of free association, otherwise known as COFAs, as well as the support of our governor and Guam citizens These agreements are critical to maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific. They also represent America's commitment to close relations with the descendants of the former trust territory of the Pacific. COFA migrants are our neighbors, our co-workers, and our leaders on Guam, who we do not seek to end the agreements or our relationships with the Federated States of Micronesia, Palau, or the Marshall Islands. Instead, I hope this bill will be the first step in redefining our inter-island relations and helping to build a stable, prosperous economies for all island nations in the Pacific. My bill, H.R. 6273, would seek to alleviate the stresses of this migration in three ways. First, by reauthorizing compact impact aid to host jurisdictions and changing the recipients to only insular areas. This is done with the understanding that CFA will solve the issues states are facing, but will not fully solving the concerns of the insular areas. To illustrate this point, I would ask unanimous consent to enter into the records GovGuam's calculated cost of hosting migrants.
So ordered.
These numbers are regularly over 100 million annually. Meanwhile, Compact Impact, even when it existed, only sent 15 million to Guam. This disparity will only be more prevalent when Compact Impact ceases altogether. Guam will always welcome migrants looking to work hard and make good living.
We acknowledge the unintended but significant costs to Guam and other territories and states related to the Compacts of Free Association, COFAs. According to a 2018 GAO report, after over 70 years of close social, political, economic, and cultural ties with the Freely Associated States, the FAS or the FAS, an estimated 94,000 FAS individuals have properly exercised their ability to travel under the compacts and now call the United States their home. This includes communities in virtually every state and territory in the country. However, we cannot support H.R. 6273. This bill would impose additional requirements for non-immigrant residency in Guam, which would place at risk our close relationships with the FAS, a cornerstone of U.S. national interest in the Pacific. Further, the intended effect of the proposed legislation on the compacts and the Immigration and Nationality Act is somewhat unclear, given that under the compacts, eligible FAS citizens do not require visas to travel to the United States, including Guam. We agree with Representative Moylan that more federal resources must be dedicated to support host territorial and state governments and FAS individuals residing in Guam and the other territories and states.
Reimbursements to the government of Guam have been insignificant. Before fiscal year 2024, Guam received between 12 million and 16 million annually from the federal government for our government's cost in providing public services and programs to COFA citizens, and between 1.4 million to 2 million annually in Compact Impact discretionary funds. We estimate that the government of Guam spends between 132 million to 150 million each year providing such services and programs. Therefore, I request your support for Compact Impact funding solutions. H.R. 1571, also known as the Compact Impact Fairness Act, CIFA, alone cannot adequately reduce the cost that COFA migrants have on our host communities. Several local services and programs rely on Compact Impact funding that CIFA cannot cover, with education and public safety costs being the most significant.
Guam has graciously hosted our COFA guests for almost 4 decades. In 2018, the U.S. Census Bureau officially reported that Guam has the highest number of COFA migrants in the country, with 18,874 residents from the Freely Associated States, or a little over 10% of our total population. Now in 2024, the number is estimated to be around 24,000 migrants, close to 15% of Guam's population, which includes a couple of generations of COFA American citizens. Despite hosting the most COFA migrants, Guam still does not receive the most significant amount of compact impact funding. The Office of Insular Affairs allocated only $35 million in compact impact funding, including $5 million, which may be available at the discretion of Congress. Guam's costs alone for educating, providing health care, as well as enforcing the law and keeping COFA migrants safe is at least $30 million annually.
Guam Delegate Moylan invited the Biden administration rep to Guam as he plans to host a town hall meeting this year, making a further push for the funding. For more on that meeting, you can go check out KUAM.com. Guys, we're going to take a break and we're back with more of the One Micronesia Show. Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience. And we are back. On January 20th, all eyes were on the Marshall Islands as a rogue wave hits Roy Namor. We're going to find out how the recovery went, but first, KUAM's Nick Delgado gives you a look at that devastating wave.
The door closed, keep the door closed. Whoa!
Where's Viv?
Whoa! What? Where's Viv? Where's Viv? Where's, you good? You good? Oh my God.
Eric Hansen captured the moment one of several huge waves battered down on the island of Roy Namor. The area is in the northern part of Kwajalein Atoll in the Republic of Marshall Islands.
Come again! Coming again!
The terrifying scene unfolding Saturday night on the U.S. Army garrison base, where the military says they support the U.S. Space and